So, as John O'Donohue has talked about this month, his life is about thresholds. Every moment is a time for us where we make a choice, where we decide. And our decisions, our consciousness, the power of our words really can change the course of things. And so right now is a potent time because we're standing right here at the threshold of the past year with all the things we planned and did and all the surprises that we didn't plan, but were for our learning and for us to see in a different way if need be. But we stand there with all that, and then before us, as a light, as the dark turns to light, we have this new year that is yet unwritten. It's unwritten, and it's just sparkling with possibilities for us. And I'm going to ask us not to make resolutions this year. Because, Kathy, you read so perfectly. We have everything we need. We have it right now. With the fullness of spirit, the gift, the individual expression we are, already is within us. We don't need anything more except to adjust our mind and our heart to a greater perspective, a greater way of seeing, and a greater way of understanding things. John O'Donohue reminds us a threshold isn't just a boundary, it's a frontier where two different worlds or experiences meet. And we often talk about the dark and the light, and I think the darkness has gotten a really bad rap. Having lived through a lot of it, which most of us have. Darkness is there for a reason. It's there for us in many ways to be our teacher. Life is that teacher, and we are the students. And we decide what we do with the light and the dark. The light is the light of revelation, the light of awareness, the light of understanding, where we can see things in a brighter and better way. I know Jesus said, it's that one spot right there. Okay. No, that's even worse. Sorry. Okay. The light of the body is the eye. And when the eye is single, that means when our eye is focused, when our vision and our clarity, and we commit to looking at things with a consciousness of compassion and understanding and the willingness to be taught and to learn, to be changed, to adjust, then the whole body shall be filled with light. Maybe it's my mic. Oh, don't ever blame it on something else. It's all.
Let's try this. Can I? Oh, yeah. I just was watching, who is it, Mel Robbins, the Let Them lady. It says, let them and then let me, because it always comes back to us. We're the ones that need to make the change. We keep trying to change everything out there, but it's right here. So live and learn. Why do I keep having to live these things? I don't get it. Anyway, so we need to really stop giving darkness such a bad rap. When we give it a bad rap, it becomes painful. We carry it around for way too long. When that darkness that we experience can be something that we really need to shake us awake to something better. Can you think about maybe a revelation, an understanding that came to you this year from either grief, exhaustion, anger, something that happened to you this year where you really can see now that, hey, I'm a better person for it. I became stronger. I learned to see what really mattered. Something happened and changed in me because I was willing to have a greater understanding. So that's what I want us to do this year, is to be able to adjust. When a potter is making, I always think of the movie Ghost, but when a potter is designing the pot they're making, they put that clump of clay into a kiln. And the clay doesn't go, help, get me out of here. the clay surrenders and it turns what it is in that darkness, that just kind of gooey stuff, into something that becomes a container for water or to bring nourishment or to bring beauty to the world, because it hasn't fought the darkness. It hasn't fought it. It's surrendered and learned from it. And that's what I want us to do this year, because as I said, and Kathy, that reading was so perfect, the power is within us right now to change for the better. If we're willing to see the darkness maybe we've shown by asking, what is it this last year that I could have done a little better? Where I didn't show my best self. Did anybody have some of those times? Yeah, we do, where the best self didn't show up and it was time for some learning to happen in us, how we can adjust and do things better and bring that bridge of light that Gretchen was singing out about, that was made of love. Love ourselves for our perfections and our imperfections, the light and the dark that's part of us. You know, I remember when Ariel Ford came to speak to us about wabi-sabi love. She made a huge difference in look at the way I look at things. She talked about that Japanese practice of finding the imperfection, and that's where the beauty is, in your artwork, in your life, in yourself. Too often I think we strive for perfection, and we're perfectly imperfect right now. It's not about perfection, always striving for things to be just right, because then we'll never have enough. But about being willing to see that life is imperfectly perfect, and it is those little cracks. Michael and I have laughed about the crumbs that were left on the counter, and a woman said she was always furious at her husband because he would leave crumbs all over the counter. And as soon as she learned to love the crumbs, everything changed. Where are there crumbs in your life that you can see differently? They're just part of life that we get upset about or angry about or concerned about, and really, they're just the beauty of the imperfections of the goodness that's there. Kirk, clean up your crumbs. Who said that? I'll have to adjust that. I'm sorry. It needs a little adjusting. We aren't here to erase the past. I know a lot of us have done things or been places we'd rather not talk about. We'd rather not share. We'd rather not admit. But that's not what it's about. We're not about erasing the past, but learning the past and bringing it forward in a new way as a better representation as ourselves. And that's why we're here. This is what John O'Donohue says. He said, may the light of your soul, and that soul is the place we continually talk about. It's that divine urge. It's the light of God. It's a spark of spirit within us that's always there, never can be altered, never can be extinguished. It's there. May the light of your soul bless what you do, the work you do, with the secret love and warmth of your heart. And your heart is that part of us that forgives mistakes, that has compassion and understanding, that knows who you are is perfect and getting better all the time. We need to be remembering that and living that way. You know, it's so interesting if we realize that when our perspective on life changes, when we look at things differently and don't expect things to be a certain way all the time. I mean, did anybody see the sunrise this morning? You know, I was just a little trapped in some thinking this morning and opened the door and saw this sunrise. And that magnificence that turns the darkness into shades of purple, to shades of deep magenta, to pink, to lighter, to yellow, to orange. Oh, wow. That's always going on, no matter where we are and how stuck we might be. That goodness of God is always expressing itself. And if we can understand about ourselves, we're that too. We need to let that light dawn within us so we can become the more. The perfection and beauty of a candle resides within itself. If we think of the things that are born in the darkness, until the wick and the wax are sparked like our divine spark, then we get the light. Oh my gosh, something beautiful is happening right here. It's happening for us, which is good. So there's a story of a woman who was walking on the beach. And tell me if this has ever happened to you, when you've just had that moment of where you shake yourself into seeing something in a new way. She always walked on the same beach in the morning, and it was beautiful and loved it. And it was great until there was one winter storm. And she went down on the beach, and the beach was scattered with broken shells and pieces of glass. And she just sat down and cried because it was her perfect spot, and it was ruined until the sun came out and shone on those pieces of shells and the sea glass, and it started to glimmer. It started to glimmer, and she was willing to see things in a new way. So she left the beach that morning with a happy heart, with a heart filled with love and beauty and joy. So today, for our prayer wall, I have asked you to see how you would be willing to adjust your present thinking so you can accept more of what Kathy was reading about, that power within us to see things in a new way. Because we don't see things in the way as they are, we see them as we are. So when we adjust our eyes to see in a new perspective, in a new way, it could be as simple as the crumbs. It could be something much, much bigger. But where are you willing to adjust your sight? I simply invite you all to just put your feet flat on the floor. Take a nice deep breath. And know that possibility is the air and the light of the soul. And so I'd like to close with a closing blessing this morning. If you close your eyes and take a nice deep breath and open yourself to the goodness that is ever present. However it is packaged, however it looks, it is here for us. And may we know at this moment that we are blessed at this time of crossing, at this threshold of life, as we're moving in from the darkness, the inner light of change, to the light of awareness. Just recognizing and knowing that in this new year, we are blessed by the wisdom that we've learned in this past year, that we take it with us. We allow that wisdom to let us grow and expand and bring newness and possibility into this light, into this life. And this bridge we build is a bridge of love, of compassion for ourselves and for others, compassion for this beautiful world in which we live. How blessed we are to be here together, to be here on this path, this spiritual path of awakening, of allowing God's love and goodness and light to be our truth, to be what we live, what we bring, what we carry into each and every situation we are in. In this moment, I know for each and every one of us that we feel that breath that allows us to let go, that allows us to be that light we seek, to be the love we know, to embrace the darkness for its lessons as we learn them easily, and allow this year, this coming year we step into, to be a year we design with our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own choices, and we make that life a life that matters, because each and every one of us is here on purpose. We are here by divine design and appointment. How blessed we are. As we feel the blessing we are, I invite each one of us to just allow that blessing to fill us, and to move out from us to embrace all in this room, and to flow out even further and embrace just family, friends, co-workers, acquaintances, to embrace the people we meet in the grocery store, on the street, in the park, wherever it is, and to know that each and every blessing we share is magnified, intensifies, and shared and expanded. How good it is to be alive. With enthusiasm and joy, we say thank you, God, for all of this and so much more. And so it is.